Iron Throne is the latest in a long slew of phone-only MMOs that seeks to suck you in and bring back tribal wars. Iron Throne is a strategic MMO focused around the construction of your castle, the recruitment of soldiers, and the slaughtering of your enemies. Playing in a similar way to such games as Tribal Wars and Travian, Iron Throne seeks to bring in that same audience through the mobile interface, hoping to grab people with that fervent desire to play while on the go. Though the tutorial likes to take its sweet time in showing you the basic ropes of the game, Iron Throne does a pretty good job of explaining itself in the long term. Construct farms and lumber yards for food and wood. Build various upgrades to your buildings so as to get more long-term resources together, then finally attack other settlements to conquer and raid them. So far, the only differences between this and Tribal Wars are limited to the aesthetic. However, Iron Throne does allow something that other games of its type don't: individual recruitments of heroes. Heroes can be recruited, up to a limited number, that can affect the stats and abilities of your kingdom for the better. What's more important is you can upgrade them to make them more powerful. The different characters able to be recruited in Iron Throne allow some degree of customizability. You can hire special characters that each have their own character strengths. For example, instead of just hiring the super strong fighter characters, you can hire an architect character that reduces construction speed, allowing faster building throughout your castle. This additional customizability means that Iron Throne manages to avoid being just another copy clone of Tribal Wars, instead becoming something decently unique. However, when considering whether or not to buy a game, you have to ask yourself, is it different enough to be its own individual experience? Essentially, does the inclusion of unique heroes with customizable abilities that make Iron Throne sufficiently distinct from other similar games, and does that distinction warrant its own download? Sadly, besides a limpingly different colour design and the inclusion of heroes, Iron Throne doesn't really do enough to be considered a different game. All the same game mechanics exist with other games of this type: castle development for resources, time gating to determine your ability to build more things or units, and the eventual purpose of attacking other players for resources and land. The entire gameplay is the same. It's just that you've got a few somewhat miserly opportunities to affect your points with the heroes. In fact, you can't even determine the enemy's hero choice, so it means you will sometimes lose a battle despite numerical superiority, all without knowing in advance whether or not you'd win or lose. Who knows, they might have had defensive heroes. Iron Throne tries desperately to make something special, something unique to call its own. Sadly, it has ended up just making a decent rip-off of an already established game of the same genre. But hey, the heroes are cool.